What's up, everybody? We're here to go over UFC 307, Pereira versus Rountree. I apologize, guys. I'm behind. Haven't been home. Been working out of town. Things have been crazy. Working at night. Um, yeah, it's probably going to be a few weeks of this. I'm going to go over the picks just kind of real quickly, and hopefully I'll get back on track and be on my early schedule here pretty soon. Um, yeah, so sorry about that, but that's just how it is right now, man. Sorry. Some pretty good fights on this card, but not a whole lot betting wise that I really wanted to attack. Most of the lines, are pretty high. Um, First up, we got Alex Hernandez taking on Austin Hubbard, and it's hard to be confident in Alex because he's been closing or been losing so much. But I could see this going either way. Um, but I'm done trying to put faith in Hernandez, man, and I'm going to take Hubbard to win this fight by decision. I thought Hubbard looked pretty good his last fight, did a pretty good job, and Hernandez is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. So you never know, man. But I'm gonna go with Hubbard. Next up, we got Tim Means taking on Court McGee, and Tim Means. I mean, you got to go with Tim Means here, man. I guess it's possible that Court could go out and get the takedowns and win a decision, but Court, isn't known for finishing people, and that's what you have to do to beat Tim Means. So I'm gonna go with Tim Means to win this fight by TKO round 2. Feels so weird going over this stuff this fast. um, sorry. Um, Next up, we got OSP taking on Ryan Spann, and OSP. I mean, he beat Kennedy and Nchekwu, man, but I mean, I feel like a lot of that was kind of Kennedy's fault. He wasn't doing enough. He was kind of letting OSP, lead the dance and whatever. But and Ryan Spann's been not finished 3 times in a row, but he was just finished. I thought Ryan Spann won the Anthony Smith fight. Fight before that, he got submitted by Nikita Krylov. I don't know, man. It's I wouldn't be surprised if OSP got a win here, but I'm gonna go with Ryan Spann. He's younger. He should win this fight. But if you can't beat OSP at this point in OSP's career, then yeah, I don't know if the UFC will even keep him around. Next up, we got Stephen Thompson taking on Joaquin Buckley. And Thompson is getting close to 42 years old, and we've seen him taken down in several of his fights, and in the way that Buckley was blasting those takedowns and some of his recent fights. I really think Buckley's going to continue his winning streak here against a much older Stephen Thompson. He's going to have to wrestle. I don't think he's not going to be able to outstrike, Stephen Thompson. I don't think so. But I'll take Buckley to win this fight by decision. Next up, we got Carla Esparza taking on Tisha Pennington. And yeah, man, I don't. Carla Esparza's already said she's going to retire after this, man. She hasn't fought in like 2 years. So that's a big red flag for me right there. Both of those, I've always said, never pick a fighter that's planning on retiring after the fact or whatever. But because very rarely does it go their way. But I actually thought that Tisha Pennington looked pretty good in her last fight. I thought she could have won that fight. I think the judges might have made a mistake on that one. But I'm going to go with Tisha Pennington here. I'm going to take her to win by decision. I think she's bigger, stronger. She's probably going to do a lot of good work up against the cage. As long as she can stay on the feet, she's good. So I'm going to go with her, man. Next up, we got Ihor Potieria taking on Cesar Almeida. I mean, he kind of finds a way to lose. I mean, he did win one fight. He got submitted really easily last time out by Michel Pereira, but um, I think that he's going to go out there. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to try and strike with Cesar Almeida, and he's not. I mean, Potieria not really known to have good wrestling or whatever. So I'm not sure he'll be able to take Almeida down. Which leads me to the point that I think Almeida is probably going to end up winning this fight by knockout. Um, I mean, yeah, Poteria's has been finished a lot, man. So I mean, I'm going to go with Almeida to win by knockout, um, round one. But the price is crazy on it already. Well, not already, but I didn't get on it early enough. Next up, we got Marina Rodriguez taking on Yasmin Lucendo. And Rodriguez, I keep trying to put faith in Rodriguez, man, and it just hasn't been going well for me. I do really like her striking. I like her boxing. Um, but I just don't know if I can do it again. I mean, I've been riding with Lucendo for her last three fights. I don't know that I'll have any money on this one, unfortunately. Lucendo's like a minus 180, I think. Um, I'm gonna go with Lucendo here. Um, Rodriguez, I don't think she's ever been submitted, but I do think that Lucendo is probably going to have to resort to the wrestling here, try to get takedowns. Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Rodriguez ended up, stuffing the takedowns and then pointing her way to a decision with her boxing, with her because she's tall and lanky. But Lucendo actually has a 1 inch reach advantage here, so I'm gonna go with Lucendo to win by decision. Next up, we got Roman Delit taking on Kevin Holland. And man, there's a lot of people going with Holland here. I can see why, because Delite has bad cardio and has looked really sloppy in some of his fights. He could possibly get Holland down and submit him. Delite does have kind of an underrated, grappling game, especially when he's on top. I just worry that if Delite can't get the finish early, he'll lose the last two rounds. Delite is hard to put away. I don't think he's ever been finished. I want Holland to win. He's one of the few fighters, fighting out of where I live in, Fort Worth. Um, Delite is a big heavyweight or a big middleweight. Sorry. Uh, I don't know, man. This is a tricky one. I guess I'm just going to go with Holland. Uh, I mean, no one's ever knocked Delite out. Part of me kind of wants to pick Delite, especially as an underdog here, but I'm going to go with Holland to win by decision. Maybe he can use his height and reach and beat up Delite from the outside. Next up, we got Kayla Harrison taking on Ketlin Vieira. And Harrison, she's just so much bigger, so much stronger. Has much better judo and wrestling than a lot of the people in the UFC. And I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going with her here. She's like a minus 800 favorite. She's so much bigger and stronger. Like I said, I don't know who's going to really give her problems. Um, in the UFC. Um, Unless maybe Amanda Nunes came out of retirement, but she's been retired, so she probably won't be the same when she comes back. So I'm going with Harrison to win. Take her to win by decision, getting the takedowns. Next up, we got Jose Aldo taking on Mario Batista. I mean, and Aldo showed in his last fight that he can go out there and beat up these younger guys. Like Jonathan Martinez was on a good run, and he didn't really have anything for Aldo. So I think this is kind of another one of those situations. I don't think Batista is going to be able to take Aldo down. And yeah, man. I mean, I'm going with Jose Aldo here, man. Um, Probably to win by decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Batista won either. He's really good. I've been riding with him in all his fights too. Um, I just think there's a certain level that hasn't been able to get past Aldo. Last person to beat him is a champion now. Um, he beat Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, Marlon Vera. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go with Aldo to win this fight by decision. I think he can deal with Batista on the feet. Next up, we got the co-main event: Raquel Pennington taking on Juliana Pena. And yeah, I mean, Pena hasn't fought in 2 years. Um, got some holes in her game. I think Raquel Pennington is going to win this fight, man. I'm going to take her to win by decision. Um, I like the way she looked, man. She looked really good when she won the title. I like her pressure over 5 rounds, her cardio, her pace. I think she can get to Pena and control her for 5 rounds, probably up against the cage, do a lot of dirty boxing stuff like that. Um, yeah. Next up, we got Alex Pereira taking on Khalil Rountree, and it's a crazy fight. Never thought you'd see this. Um, yep. I like this fight, man. I really do. Even though a lot of people are complaining that Rountree, shouldn't be fighting for the title yet or whatever, but I mean, it's an interesting fight, for sure. And I like two good strikers, to be in there. So, but Alex Pereira is going to be a much bigger guy here. Um, I, I definitely got to go with Pereira. I'm taking a win by knockout round 2, but I mean, it would be crazy if if Khalil won this fight, by knockout. He'd have to, right? Um, I mean, Pereira's got quite a bit of reach, almost 4 inches of reach advantage. Um, I think he's. I mean, if we look at who Roundtree's been fighting, I mean, it's yeah, none of these people really, none of these people really are even close to the level of Pereira. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going with Pereira to win this fight. I'm taking one by knockout round 2, like I said. I'm sorry for rushing through all this stuff, man. I feel like this is kind of pointless since I'm rushing through it and not able to do my full breakdown like I normally do. Um, the only bet I have on this card, guys, um, is Pereira and Buckley. Parlayed them together at a -120. That's a 1 unit play. Not a lot on this card that I like, man. I thought about Aldo as underdog, but Batista scares me. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to do my best, guys, to get back on track here in the next few weeks. I do apologize, man. Just not a lot of time. And I'm going to try and do the next card here after this one. I'm going to try to go over everything and get out a video. At least that way my picks are still early, even if the video is short. Um, but I do apologize, man. And yeah, things are just hectic right now for me. Y'all have a good one, man. I'm out of here.